Hey everyone, and welcome to the Socratic Circuit. Ever watch the news and hear about the president meeting with the National Security Council, or the NSC, especially during a big crisis? Sounds super serious, right? But what is it? Is it a secret society? A room full of spies? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the U.S. National Security Council. We'll cover when it started, why it was created, who's in it, and how it's changed from its early days to the powerhouse it is today. And trust me, there are some pretty cool fun facts along the way. Buckle up, all right? Let's rewind the clock. Imagine it's just after World War II. The world is a very different and, frankly, a pretty tense place. The Cold War is kicking off between the United States and the Soviet Union. President Harry S. Truman realized that to navigate this new, dangerous world, the U.S. government needed a better way to coordinate all its different departments dealing with foreign policy and national security. Think about it. You've got the State Department for diplomacy, the military for defense. How do you get them all on the same page? Enter the National Security Act of 1947. Signed into law by Truman on July 26th, this act officially created the National Security Council. Its main job? To advise the president and help coordinate policies among key government agencies. Originally, the main players were the president, vice president, the secretaries of state and defense, and the heads of the military branches, plus a small civilian staff to support them. Now, here's a fun fact. President Truman, even though he signed it into law, wasn't exactly its biggest fan at first. He actually used the NSC pretty sparingly. Most policy was still driven by the good old State Department. But as time went on, especially under President Eisenhower, the NSC really started to evolve. Eisenhower was a big fan of process. He formalized things and, super importantly, created the role of the National Security Advisor in 1953. This person would become a key figure, kind of like the president's personal coach and manager for all things national security. Eisenhower also set up structured interagency planning boards. The NSC has had some, let's say, defining moments. In 1961, after the Bay of Pigs incident in Cuba, the famous White House Situation Room was created. This became the NSC's nerve center for crisis management. Fast forward to 1987 and the Iran-Contra scandal. This was a huge deal. It involved NSC staff going beyond advising and into actually conducting covert operations, which led to a big reevaluation of the NSC's boundaries and what it should and shouldn't do. More recently, after 9/11, the Homeland Security Council was created. Between 2001 and 2009, it was eventually merged with the NSC, showing how the definition of national security was expanding. And just in 2021, reflecting new global challenges, a pandemic preparedness advisor was added to the NSC. See? It's always evolving. So, what does the NSC look like now? It's still chaired by the president. Key members always include the vice president and the secretaries of state, defense, energy, and treasury. Yes, energy and treasury. Because national security isn't just about military might anymore. It's about economic stability, energy resources, and so much more. And that national security advisor we mentioned? They lead the NSC staff and are hugely influential. Think of them as the main coordinator and filter of information for the president. But it's not just one big meeting. There are different committees. The main ones are the Principals Committee, the big bosses, the secretaries themselves, and the Deputies Committee, their second-in-commands. These committees hash out details, manage the flow of information, and prepare options for the president to make the final call. The NSC staff supports this whole system by coordinating how different agencies develop policy together. The scope of what the NSC deals with today is vast. We're talking pandemics, cybersecurity threats, space policy, climate change impacts on security, you name it. All right, Before we wrap up, time for a lightning round of NSC fun facts. The Situation Room origin. The famed White House Situation Room, often seen in movies during crises, exists thanks to the NSC. President John F. Kennedy created the Situation Room in 1961 after the Bay of Pigs invasion went wrong partly due to slow information flow. He wanted a 24/7 operations center to give real-time intel to the NSC and President. Today, the Situation Room, run by about 130 NSC staffers, is where presidents manage emergencies, including events like the Bin Laden raid in 2011. With secure video feeds and instant communications, it's often confused with the UN Security Council. Totally different. The UN Security Council is an international body with members from different countries focused on global peace. The US NSC is purely for the US president and government. The NSC isn't only about war and diplomacy. It also handles things like space, cyber, and even pandemics. For example, in 2020, the NSC coordinated responses to COVID-19 by pulling together health experts and security officials. Earlier, in 2014, the NSC oversaw efforts to stop Ebola in West Africa. This underscores that national security now includes global health and technology issues, not just military affairs. The NSC, or National Security Advisor, pops up in various films and TV shows. For example, in the political drama The West Wing, the president's National Security Advisor is a key character guiding the fictional president through crises, showing how pivotal the role is. In real life, some NSC meetings and photos have become iconic, such as the photo of President Obama and his team in the Situation Room watching the Bin Laden raid in 2011, which was essentially an NSC meeting in action. That image demonstrated the NSC at work. Civilian and military leaders gathered around a table, making real-time decisions to keep the country safe. So, why should you care about the NSC? Because it's at the very heart of how the U.S. government makes some of its most critical decisions on war, peace, diplomacy, and protecting the nation. It's designed to make sure the president gets the best possible advice from all the right people, especially when the stakes are incredibly high. It's not perfect and it's constantly adapting, but the National Security Council is a vital piece of the American government puzzle, and that's the U.S. National Security Council in a nutshell. Hopefully, that clears things up. What other government bodies or historical concepts mystify you? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful or interesting, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe for more easy-to-understand explainers and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.